Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open, hurry up what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah. And use it inside your live stream. And on your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital.
Welcome in, guys. Getting set up here. Give us a second. Gonna have DJ Moons. DJ Moons. Dropping the beats. All right. DJ Moons. What's up, Poppy? How you doing, brother? Thanks for jumping in here and assisting with the sound. Last week's sound was absolutely atrocious, but next week we should have that fixed. How you doing, bro? I don't know if he can talk with the sound thing. He's probably got to talk on Lambo. So anyway, we got a bunch of players in the house. What up, ladies? How we doing? Start off with some introductions. Miss Moon Pie herself. How you doing, Moon Pie?
I'm here.
Hi, how are ya?
Good. Oh, there was Moons. I heard him talking. But Moon Pie, thanks for joining. How's your day going so far?
It's going well. Happy to be here. I normally host Ape Spaces on Thursdays, but I wasn't scheduled for today's, so I'm just grateful I'm able to be here.
That's awesome. You're putting some major spaces work. And I feel like every time I look, yes, you are in a space. So glad that you're here with us today. Mr. Moons, are you back? All right, no Moons again. He is just soundboarded out of his mind. Scooping over.
I am, but the thing is, there's a strange delay. So when you talk, I don't hear you for a sec because the Lambo baby's on the listener. So that's the delay. But the sound's great.
Right now.
That's my utility I provide. If anyone ever needs, hit me up.
Cool. Scooping over to Crypto Empress. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys? I am literally laughing so hard. DJ Moon, I don't know how you do those emojis so quickly, but power to you. I probably need to take some classes because, dude, you got some skills.
I thought my phone was glitching out.
No, he literally, like, I am laughing just because of the hand, like how he's doing it. I'm like, holy shit. I was trying to do it myself. I'm like, there's no way I could do it. Like, is there like a particular thing that you're doing? Like, I want to be on your level right now.
Yeah, he's got 3 hands. He's using toes, knees,
DM me,
elbows,
everything. I'll tell you the secret.
Done.
It's the Apple Watch, right?
Yeah, he's got that Apple Watch movement going on. Smart man. And Miss Barkley, Real Bark, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well today, just in between showings for a client. So I'm just playing the whole realtor life today at full force and loving it. So real good day.
For sure. And I'll ask you more about that later. But did you get that listing?
I did. I got that listing. So we're going to market with it in May. And it's really exciting because it's actually being sold vacant. So no furniture, no staging. And we'll get into it later, I'm sure, but we're actually launching an augmented reality tool so that people can view the staging through their phones. And so we'll be the first people ever launching that tool on this home in Phoenix, Arizona. So it's a really exciting opportunity.
That's fantastic, especially since my background is real estate, like artificial intelligence and lead generation and predictive analytics. So I'd love to hear more about that. Let's go next over to Naomi. Thanks for joining us, Naomi. You're the only person here that I haven't met yet. So thank you for coming on.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. This is really fun. This is cool. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. No, thank you for being here. And I look forward to asking you more about your recent visit to GDC with your alpha game. Can't wait to talk about that. And then we also have Shelly. We have Derby Chicken. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Glad to see you here, and looking forward to learning from you. I've got my notebook, my notepad, and my pen. I always get some really good alpha in these spaces, so I'll be writing it down.
Sweet. That concludes our lady panel. Let's go over to, sorry, DJ Moons, you're not a lady, but we had to give you a shout out first. But Crypto Medic, man, what's going on, brother? Thanks for coming on the co-host to help me get set up here.
Absolutely. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever everybody is, brothers and sisters. So happy to be here. ETH goes up, ETH goes down. I don't care. I'm just surfing the waves, man. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but not least, and let's say that Shelly's the better half, but we'll let Enzo introduce himself. What's going on, Enzo? You're here again, as always. Darn it! Thought you would have left us by now. Just kidding. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yo, how's it going, man? I am having a amazing day. Been looking forward to this TopeTalk for the entire week. I know that MoonPie has been in a lot of spaces, so I'm guessing she has a lot of great information with her. Naomi, I really look forward to hearing your thoughts on Create to Own. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here with all of you guys and learn.
Let's go. So before we get started, a few disclaimers. One, I am sick as a Doge right now. Sick as the Dogecoin. See, I can't even talk. Through a bear market. And today I just got my medication. They gave me some heavy duty nasal spray and some looks like vitamin D, like clear pills, but apparently it's for cough medicine. So if I start to fade out or say anything crazy, it's not financial advice. Just keep that in mind. Nothing here is financial advice. So yeah, enjoy the show, the entertainment, whatever you can get out of this. We hope you leave with something. It probably won't be my personal phone number, but DMs are open. So let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining. We have a ton of awesome people on this space. This one is one that I've been trying to put together for a hot minute, and there is a little bit of women in Web3, but most of this panel here are women that I've either met in person or have spent time on spaces with. I've been I guess Moonpie's come after me in a few spaces before, puts me in my place. I go and cry in Twitter DMs to her, please don't hurt me anymore. And so far it's worked. We'll see what happens today. Regarding everybody else here, I had a great opportunity to meet Barkley out in LA, and we walked a red carpet event. It was really fun. Crypto Empress was there as well. And we just all had a blast at the Star Dogs red carpet event. And I know that Crypto Empress is really close there. So I would actually like to start this space by talking to Miss Naomi. And I would like to know, how was GDC? Because a lot of us were at the NFT LA at the same time. And I watched a little bit of your videos and saw that people had the opportunity to, test a game out. So I want to touch base on this, and then we'll go into the news, and then we'll jump into some other stuff. But regarding GDC being more, did you feel like it had a Web3 presence at more than it was Web2, or were you seeing majority of this being still AAA games outside of yours, Dr. Disrespect, and was it more like Activision Blizzard ran, or what did you see?
I mean, a lot of it was exactly what you expect to see at GDC. All the big names were there with their big giant booths, just like they normally are. It was the first GDC since pre-COVID that was it felt like GDC is back. It was packed. There were tons of people there. There was the floor was actually full, which last year was not the case. It was maybe a third full, and it was really kind of creepy and weird. And last year there was definitely a blockchain contingency, but this year it was definitely more there was some chains even had some booths, and Avalanche had a huge presence on the right in the center of the floor, which was really fucking cool. And they were showcasing a lot of the games that are launching on Avalanche, and they had a giant screen, a big screen in the middle of it that everybody could see. You could see it from all over the place, and they were running gameplay and trailers. They ran the Shrapnel. I don't know if they ran our trailer or CG trailer, if they ran our sizzle reel. I can't remember. It must have been our trailer that they ran. So it was really cool. It was definitely like way more people were way more receptive this year than they have been in the past to the blockchain gaming space. So that was pretty encouraging. And Shrapnel we had a good fucking week, man. We had a demo that we were showing by invitation only behind closed doors at a hotel a couple blocks down from the convention center, and everybody that came through had a really good time. They got to play around in a little mini small version of a level and see what we were up to and see some of the features and get a little taste of extraction first person shooter play. We got a really, really amazing write-up in Decrypt from this gal, Kate, who, I mean, if you haven't seen that, you should go read it. She should be like a novelist. Her writing is just incredible. You just absolutely feel like you were in her demo session with her, like, biting your nails, seeing if she gets out. It was really, really, really good. And then it was pretty rad, you guys. Like, we would walk down the street to go from like one meeting to the next, and they would see Shrapnel on our t-shirts and like stop us on the street and ask us about our game. Like, people were talking about Shrapnel and we weren't even really on the floor. We were kind of holed up in this like this like basement conference room, just like churning through demo sessions hour after hour all week long. We all worked really, really hard, but I think it really paid off, and I'm pretty excited about what comes next.
Awesome. And we'll definitely touch base some more about the game. I noticed that you guys had a write-up in Cointelegraph, so that was really cool to read. I saw that, you guys took advantage of getting some like interviews of people that had opportunity to play the game. So congratulations on, taking advantage of your investment there and allowing, building some really good content to drive more audience too. And this is a great time as we start to move into a better market to, that might not be available all the time, and having some existing content for people to dive into is a strong play. So I think that's very smart. I think last time we had the space, we were on Thursday. I was still in LA. So this is essentially like our first space outside of NFT LA. And what you just said, I think we were at the wrong convention. I would have rather have been there because we didn't have much interactive opportunities in the essentially the conference. I think NFTs people are starting to really injecting themselves into these other opportunities like gaming conferences, and potentially I see like more of NFT and Web3 going into like maybe TwitchCon, or I think what is it, E3 or one of those that just disappeared out of nowhere. So it's going to start to be like that GDC, and I think you guys had a good play by going there and instead of putting a bigger presence into like NFT LA. So smart move on that. So let's go into more of like the current state of our world right now, right? So I'm sure if you're in Web3, you're kind of taking a look, watching to see what the next big play is, and it's been actually pretty interesting to see how the last week or so has been pretty quiet. I mean, there's been a couple things that popped off. You got these Nakamigos, which are taking a huge dip right now. Not actually sure what any of it means outside of a buddy owning like 100 of them, sitting on about he was sitting on about an $80,000 bag. I think that thing is down now to 50K. And these other opportunities, like the devs launched and that thing flopped. I mean, it is sitting at like a 0.09 ETH, and it moved up, it hit an all-time high at 0.25, which, your boy Crypto Chris G bought at 0.25. So, it was a great investment on my end. I'm doing exactly what I've done in the past, so I haven't learned a single thing. And that's great. Regarding like the market going on outside of NFTs into, new launches and stuff, we've seen a little bit of some price action on the coin side, right? So typically when price action moves on favor of crypto and these altcoins, which is, we are essentially about to go into altcoin season. It's, in the past history has been April is a good month for altcoins, but NFTs slow down, right? So it really brings out the NFTs that are launching right now, showing that they are pretty much junk. and it's like just consistent like free mints, and still in the free mint market. I didn't think we'd still be here, but we are literally seeing new free mints about 4 or 5 a day launch. They'll hit up a 0.01, 02, 03. If they get lucky, they'll even get past 04, God forbid. And then they dump down to 0.004. And that's where they end up. And it just like it's a rinse and repeat. So basically, people are blur farming right now. And I just learned how to blur trade. So I have bids sitting on blur. I'm gaining points. I'm probably going to make $50 over the course of a month doing it. But hey, that's going to offset the devs mistake that I made. But I'm at least invited to the devs party. I'm not sure where it's going to be. I probably won't be in that city when it happens. But, that's great utility. We're finding real utility out of these things. That and Pours Light. I want one of them that has the Pours Light can, because that'll go next to my POOR Arsh, the Porsche NFT. Yeah, I bought the knockoff version. That didn't do too well either. So, Moon Pie, you being so heavily into the space, I know you basically are Beat Boop's right hand woman. What are you seeing? Because I just saw Beat Boop hit an all-time high at 50 cents. I invested in that coin when it first launched. 55. Oh, excuse me. I still got some Beat Boop coin. I still got a Beat Boop, and I got some toolboxes. They chilling. What are you seeing? I know that, like you said, you're in spaces a lot. Are you seeing people kind of still having this like drama sesh between Machi and everything, or are people actually getting back to constructive information?
All I've really seen this past week is Machi. I don't really like partake in that. But it does get a lot of attention. I think majority of people just like drama, and so they tune into that kind of stuff. It's an easy way to get a lot of viewers in your space. But I could care fucking less. I mean, I would care if I had my money invested and I was rugged, but I didn't. So I could truly care less about the whole thing. But I also find people with like communities that think the same way I do, and like Beep Boop is a great example. Like I go into his spaces daily and they're just striving for a goal to get more people on their beep list, to get the token higher, and they don't care about the other noise going on.
Oh, that's a great answer, and I agree with you. I think you and me must not have DM'd Machi or any King Fudd or any of those guys asking for the free DeFi ape. I actually did, but I'm gonna say I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get one, and everyone else seemed to have, and they floored it immediately. So you kind of wonder why things went in the opposite direction, and it's unfortunate for people that don't have like the follow or can get into the DMs to get their free DeFi apes. But it just seemed like an interesting situation from the beginning. And I'm not one to FUD. I don't, really care for fudding, but it just is very tough to not walk into any, or, go listen into any space outside of a few that are.
And people take it so seriously, like whether the FUD is facts or not, like even you were bringing up Nakamura's or whatever. I don't even know what it is. But like them too, like they pumped heavy because of just rumors about like who they were, being spread on Twitter. And so, I mean, people really take things for like face value on Twitter and just run with it. And it's pretty interesting.
It is. I mean, rumors have pumped multiple projects before. I mean, that was the whole Gitcoin situation. It's like, oh, Vitalik's, it's his first one outside of his one of one, and yeah, no, that that went the opposite direction after a tremendous pump up to 0.7, and really, like, were people wanting to own a piece of history, or were they literally FOMOing in because of the greed? And it's got to get to a point where there's going to be projects where greed will be surpassed by performance and utility. And I think a great example of that is Beat Boop. I mean, that account, whoever's behind it, has been fantastically keeping a great vision going forward, and it's providing results. And people are actually, over time, I think it launched 170 days ago is when I first put money in that token. That it's consecutively. I just looked yesterday and I was like, oh, there's a bag. Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown. So yeah, that was cool. But enough about Beep Boop. Beep Boop gets a lot of space time. That account has already put on the Super Spaces like over 600 something votes. I mean, there's so many Beep Boop votes. I don't think we have enough like bots to handle. Like even if I wanted to bot the votes, it would still win. So with that being said, let's talk about another project in the space that is dear to me. I had an opportunity to go to Darcy Donovan's red carpet event at the Hollywood Museum last week. And was it last week? Yeah, I think so. Time flies when you're sick. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Put on my double-breasted, Calvin Klein slim fit suit that I pretty much was sucking in the whole time because of the LA food that I was engulfing into my stomach. But the ladies looked tremendously awesome. We had Real Barks there, and we also had Crypto Empress. And Crypto Empress, you work directly with the Darcy Donovan team. That is something that is very interesting to me, and I think that a lot of Web3 companies don't understand, and it's going to be a culture shock when these, in a couple of years from now, when we get bigger, and the ones that do make it big, like having a PR team, having all the people surrounding you, having an assistant when you're trying to build all this stuff and produce a quality remembering experience. And I was curious, how did you feel about the entire experience that we had?
Absolutely. So I just started working. I'm kind of like the newbie of the Star Dog part of the team. So for me, I'm always looking for innovation and something that's different in Web3. So I like to get on top of like what's coming up. And I think for me, what's more about she's trying to bring Hollywood into her world here in crypto. And I think this is a great opportunity because it is very new. Nobody's doing it yet. And Darcy does have a lot of connections when it comes to her industry, which I'm not really familiar with the celebrities other than like I do have some couple of friends that are in that world too as well, but I don't get to see that in action. And actually this red carpet event was going to be my first ever just kind of just getting there, kind of getting to like digest everything from meeting the people, producers. I mean, we met so many people. She can throw a party. And yes, it was one of those things where, it's all about networking and, being professional. And for me, it's all about the connections. I mean, my network, I always say like it's always good to have those connections just because in the long run, you'll notice that you'll have something like maybe somebody comes up and say, hey, I'm looking for so and so, and I'm the type of person that I might have that connection already. And I love connecting people and I love bringing communities together. This is what I thrive for in Web3. And this is my motivation. I don't care about like, status, who you are. Like for me, I like putting in the work. And I think that's what makes me a little bit, who I am, like a little bit special about who I am. Same person when you meet me in real life, same person when you hear me over Twitter Spaces. But for me, it's just connecting. I love networking. I love going to events, and that's how I met you. And here I am in this panel with you, beautiful people.
No, thank you, and that's true. And it's kind of crazy at that specific event. Remember the guy, the older gentleman with like the blonde like hair that was going down the sides, like he seemed to be like kind of out front. He had to get pictures taken and stuff. I'm like, oh, he must be like an actor. Well, I met Danielle Monet. She's forget her WWE name, but she's a big WWE wrestler. And literally right as I flew back, she like posted like their scene with him and her like in their film that's coming out of her beating his ass. And I was like, oh man, that would have been great to know ahead of time. I could be like, I know you. But no, that happened a little late. That would have been great. That would have been so exciting. But nope, didn't get to do that. Instead, I just stared at him in his black leather jacket. I'm like, yeah, he's a big deal. But I also had the chance there with to spend some time in the line for the red carpet with Barkley, and this girl is doing awesome. I tell you, I was curious, and the question I had for you on this, Barkley, is how do you juggle this life of yours? Because it seems like you're having a successful Web2 real estate business pop it off. You're ambitious and hungry. How do you balance this Web3 and Web2 life and be successful with it?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. And it's one I get very frequently. And I think once I stopped kind of looking at it as like trying to find like my work life balance or like my Web 2 life balance with my Web 3 life, and just kind of looked at it as like one big life that just needed balancing in general. And and was like, okay, now the best way to do that is take it day by day. Like and I kind of fall into this naturally because my background is in the arts and acting. So I'm just kind of like, okay, what role am I playing? What script is it? What scene is it? Right? Like, what am I focusing on? What is the mission? What is the project? And that's what I focus on and take 100% seriously what I'm doing. And then once the next thing pops up, I just take that as seriously and move on to it and drop the next thing, the thing before, you know? So I think it really is just taking it day by day and sometimes hour by hour and sometimes even minute by minute and just focusing on that. And then it all kind of just flows.
For sure. And do you feel like, is it part of your future, like let's say your goals in the next year or so, to figure out, like you said, with ways to incorporate AI and Web3 into real estate? Is this something that you're going to try to forefront as like and kind of set the tone?
Absolutely, we are. So, just so to kind of give everybody a little bit of background on Real Gratitude, the mission for Real Gratitude is to reimagine the real estate industry by using blockchain technology to create more balance within our communities. It's made up of 7 different projects. Most of them are for profit, but we also have a nonprofit and a DAO. So, what that means is that, and that's kind of what Chris was saying, is like, how do we balance all those? Well, they all intermingle. They don't commingle, but they all intermingle and dance together so that they support each other. So I think that's what's really exciting about being on the forefront of so many things with real estate, is that once one thing pops off, then it immediately triggers the next thing to pop off, and they all can kind of support each other. So it's a really exciting opportunity to not only be at the front of everything, but also have, some grounding and some, I would say, foundation that other companies are not going to have while they're building.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. And I think real estate is a great, just like there's different like ways to do real estate, whether it's being a buyer's agent or a listing agent or a broker or yada yada. You could do like a lot of different tasks as a realtor to find success. I think that there needs to be that type of way in Web3, and I think it's been like either crypto or NFTs, right? So I look forward to seeing like different routes where people can really commingle in their own way between the two worlds that we live in, and still have time for Web1, which is your family, right? So it's tough out there in these streets because this is very time consuming, the way that everything moves. I mean, things can take months, like in real estate, but in crypto, people are expecting like next day. So it's like waiting for like, people to check out a house and stuff. People are like, oh, come on, man, I can do the transaction in Ethereum in like 2 minutes. Let's sell the house. But it's like, that's not typically how it works. So I think real estate is a great example and a great use case on how things will be able to be sped up through the use of blockchain and different technologies.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And just to drop some alpha on that, is that we are seeing that the possibility of getting the transaction down to 2 days with blockchain. So that's like really changing the industry.
All right. Well, I'll stop buying these dev rug pulls and start saving for a house then, I guess. That's probably a good idea. Yeah. So Derby. Speaking of Derby here, my question is, how do you live with Enzo? I mean, how do you do it? Just meetings with him is enough for me, but I can imagine in person, it's a little different.
It is so much fun. He is such a great cook. He cooks steak and guacamole and cheese, and man, it's really a blast. We have so much fun. It's been so fun. I enjoy
And
it.
that was a good answer. I was hoping you'd be like, you know what, you're right, Chris. But no, that's a really good answer. And he's somebody that's in a lot of like Discord and a lot of like I see him active and obviously in ours and with my homies over at TopeTalk. Like how do you guys like how do you have interactions? And I'm just curious because I don't have a Web3 girlfriend or a girlfriend in general, and I just want to be prepared. I want to be prepared on making sure I have enough time to juggle everything. Like I said in the beginning, like this is a juggling act for for Web2 and Web3. So like, do you cut them off? Do you like pull the plug like my mom used to do, and when I was playing too much computer time, and be like, no sir, time to go outside, get the football,
Well,
anything like that?
I enjoy the space as much as he does, and so I feel like we're doing a lot of things together. Like when we have the games, poker, I'm there for Wednesday night. Friday is Pixel War, and I like to put a lot of gifs, the little moving pictures when everybody's having fun playing Pixel War and the meme contest. So, and then when he's working, I'm kind of playing along too. So it's a blast. Life is good. Life is really, really good.
All right. Sounds like he's a good guy. Dang it. Just want to FUD him the entire time. If I can't FUD other things, Enzo's always a good FUD device, Just kidding. But no, that's great. And before we go over to Crypto Medic here, if everyone doesn't mind, we tweet out the space. If you haven't voted for Beep Boop yet, please vote for us instead of Beep Boop. They don't need any more votes. They got like 700 votes. Moonpie, did you use yours yet?
No, I haven't, but I didn't vote for Beep last time because I had to vote for ATS.
Well, Beep, like I said, I'll send him a DM, say, hey, Moonpie doesn't love you no more, and we'll take that vote. It's tough in these streets, Beep Boop's at like 700, we at 49. I mean, we're ranked like number 4 behind ATS and Beep Boop, so your vote's accepted here. With your vote comes a thank you in the DMs. That's probably not what you're going to get from Beep Boop. Probably wouldn't even recognize that you did it. So, without further ado, Mr. Crypto Medic.
Thank you, brother. I just, Chris, I think you and I are old. People don't want to go outside anymore. They don't want to go touch grass or see the sun. They want to live in Web3. I think if you could have them in Tron where it just zaps them and right into Web3 they went, I think they'd be lining up right now to sign up for it, man. It's some crazy stuff. I also wanted to ask, when Crypto Chris G goes in at 0.25 and then sends Crypto Medic a message, bro, you got to go in on this. I want to understand what's happening there.
Talk about. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even want to go in at 0.25. Actually, to be honest with you, it was FOMO from a Discord I was in at the time, and we were watching the mint go off, and the mint free mint. It was a free mint, by the way. That should have been my clear indication that I was about to lose my bag, but I didn't. And by the way, only I can say I'm old. That's not fair. Just because I feel old and I'm dying right now to whatever some Web3 nerd screamed, spit into my face while he was screaming at me last week in LA at one of the events. I'm pretty sure I got the screamositis. The doctor prescribed me stuff that, I was expecting antibiotics and said I got nasal spray. So I'm not expecting to feel any better for a couple of days, but we'll get there. So, we talk about how it's there's a juggling act for business and stuff. Cause I would say a majority of people don't work full time in Web3, Moonpie, like with you. And then I want to go to Naomi about it. Like, I would assume like you're finding ways to generate revenue and keep a roof over your head through spaces, or are you involved with anything that like you want to, do you have any alpha for some cool stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, so I was, I don't know if you know my experience in the past, but I'm a former executive of a cannabis company in California, and was making great money. And that's when I started to invest into crypto and NFTs, like January of last year. And I got laid off out of nowhere last year in April, and it really threw me for a loop. And while I was evaluating out my options, the communities that I was already involved in from just investing into, they reached out and basically gave me jobs in Web3. And so since then, I have stayed in Web3. It's enabled me to, and I do mega spaces. I get hired for spaces by projects, like for mint parties, reveal parties, and all of that stuff. I work as an advisor on projects and as a liaison for a lot of people, a lot of projects to, you know, connect with other projects and so forth. So, and I get asked all the time when I'm going to start my own project, but it's just not something that I see in the cards at the moment. So I'm learning a lot in this space. And the one thing I've learned is if you're going to do something, you know, you have to do it right. And I think this space really needs more people like myself who come from a professional background, because the lack of professionalism that I see in this space is bonkers. You know, like even myself, like, you know, getting jobs with people, some of them aren't even doxed. There's no agreements. There's no like clear payment structure and all of that kind of stuff. So the space has a long way to go. But I think that will come.
You know, speaking of lack of professionalism, Fiddy tried to make me drink hot sauce at one of his parties because he knew if I tried all the different hot sauces, I would have no toothbrush or toothpaste or mouthwash or nothing. And I was definitely not going to have anybody talk to me at that point. So I'm very familiar with what you're talking about. Oh, Fiddy,
Dude, all of
what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining
stuff
us.
that went in your mouth the week that I saw you, hot sauce would have been the best thing.
Damn. I'm just kidding. I'm not even gonna fight back at this point. How you doing, bro? How was your week after LA? I'm over here fighting the what I call it, the spitalitis from all the Web3 guys trying to talk to you really close to your face because everyone else, you know, the music, the people, then they want to tell you about their protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are
I
you doing?
survived all that, and then my daughter went to see Taylor Swift, and she brought me back the thing. So I do have it now, so it's not terrible, but you know, I'm just trying to put together a safe space for men.
Oh, thank you. And you know, I put your cookie in the fridge that I brought home, and I ate it later that night. It didn't last too long in the fridge, and it was fantastic. It gave me like it was like a mix of like it was like a slight chewiness, but like got that crunch to it. So I know you have other flavors. I'm super excited to try everything that you got going on, and I appreciate you bringing like actual like stuff to the industry and showing like how brands are gonna be able to do this stuff. And I feel like you're kind of situating, you know, putting yourself as like a forefront leader for how to quickly produce branding. I mean, people talk about it. You're just doing it. You're not really caring to like say, oh, you know, can't show you. You're just like, hey, yeah, here it is. Check it out. And now you got these amazing hot sauces. You got 3 different hot sauces. One, I think it was, one was like a barbecue. One was like a red
There's
bottle, and the other one was
10 flavors.
blue,
We have
right?
10 flavors, and then we have 5 flavors
Sheesh.
of cookies, and then we'll have wine and vodka in the next probably month. Working on survival kits. It's raining right now, so I just have an idea. I'd like to do umbrellas with moon pie's face on it. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, let's get
Hi,
a
Freddie.
giant group of moon pie umbrellas made, and we will definitely use them in NYC in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll tell you my takeaway on NFTLA. I thought NFTLA really was low budget. I thought it sucked. The parties, the people are incredible, but I thought the place looked like a subway bathroom. No vendors, nothing. As a matter of fact, they put a tweet out this morning. Hey, what was your best part of NFTLA? I think there was like 2 likes, and I don't even know what they are. So I think it's a cash grab. I think we need to stay away from this and start doing our events. I will tell you
But he just comes in here and starts fudding and
no, no,
ruins
no.
events.
I
Like,
just think it's if you're going to spend $1,500. I mean, there's better ways to do it, like our VIP, where they have like sandwiches from Starbucks from a year ago. I will tell you though, I did meet the real Barkley, so that was worth it right there.
That was one
Oh
of my
boy, here we
highlights of
go.
that week. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I paid for the conference and I think I spent a total like 2 hours there and got to see every single booth. So that being said, I'm not fudding it, but would I go again? We will see what happens in the future.
Well,
But
and
I would
it's
love
not
to see
about
Fiddy
having to go
again
to
in
the
the future.
party. it's not about going to like the event. Like it's about like the events around it, like the satellite events. And Fiddy's right. And actually, Fiddy, before you joined, I was talking to Naomi. She owns a company, Shrapnel, and they decided to do the GDC. And it sounds like GDC was where it was at. So it's like if it's gonna be stuff situated around a, let's say per se like an NFT LA, it's probably going to be like where we kind of start blending into these other big conferences that are Web2 heavy, and I don't see why that wouldn't work. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, there's going to be some changes. I can promise you that one. But the guy that was running this conference, and I spoke to a lot of influencers that were really disrespected, said that this guy's not even a Web3 guy. He just was basically selling tickets. And so I went last year, and it was way better. I mean, it had a VIP lounge upstairs. They had Nelly performing. They had like Sir Mix-a-Lot. They had a lot of people. Like, there's no reason for these venues that like for Frank DeGod's party or your party with them, or we had a party. There's no reason why they shouldn't call us up and say, "Hey, listen, we got the whole convention center. Why don't you guys do your party inside? Why don't we all get together and really have an experience?" Because honestly, it's not right to have people running around, especially in the rain, taking Ubers, cabs. Nobody knows where they're going. Everybody's sending QR codes to people. I just think it could be better, and we don't have to plan it for when that convention's in town. We could just have 5 founders say, "Hey, this is going to be our month, and this is where we're going to do it, and let's make some fun."
Yeah, and it also like shows like they had that conversation with us, and they wanted not only for us to do an event before, but also pay for it. So it's like, okay, let's decide, a better route. And luckily stars aligned, and we were able to throw an awesome party, and you as well. I mean, I had so much fun hanging out with everyone at your party. I saw some awesome people. I know Bitboy Crypto was there. I think William Shatner was there. Am I wrong?
No, he was there. He popped by. I don't know who's friends with him, but he did come by.
That's cool. So, to keep the space and the topic, Fiddy, like we got a bunch of beautiful and amazing intellectual panelists here that are all builders and in their own way for Web3. But like, do you feel like the Web3 audience in general has provided women with comfortable and experiences where we'll be more inviting for more?
I mean, I think you have to look at like each situation. I know in our community we've welcomed women, and not because they're women, because they're super smart, and we just treat them with respect. But I've seen things happen, that I don't like. But I think that as, time goes by, and you really need a really good pumped NFT project like Dead Fellows, who's running by Betty. You need more women projects to really succeed. So a lot of these guys or whoever's being disrespectful can say, okay, I want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need more women projects, more women-led based projects, and we need them to win.
Oh, 100%. They have to win. I mean, we need more older women coming along, and really, I'd love to see Queen Apes do something, man, because that's an awesome project. I see people repping Queen Apes all the time, and I'm like, it's a perfect mix with everything that you guys got going on. So I think that's fantastic too. And I was discussing with a few people here, and Naomi, I want to go back to you on stuff like, what are the biggest hurdles? Are you feeling like being a woman in the space at a high level, producing an amazing game? Do you feel like are you getting judged, or do you feel like people don't take you as seriously when you try to talk, or they think you're like, what, you're producing an FPS shooter?
I mean, it's no different than the rest of my career. I mean, I've been in tech for 20 years. But I will say that I'm pretty fairly insulated here at our studio, just because our studio culture is not about that nonsense at all. We are constantly looking for a diversity of talent to come join us, because we know that will literally make our project better and make us all more money. That's like proven. That's like studies have proven it. Diverse groups make better product, and better product makes more money. So, I mean, anyone who doesn't understand that is really just shooting themselves in the foot anyway. And I'm like, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to drop any names, but I know some projects that we're kind of up against that aren't as diverse as we are, and it shows in their messaging and in their community base. And I think in the end, that's going to actually keep them from having the sustainable product that Shrapnel is trying to build. So, I mean, Yeah, I'm always going to run into that. That's what it means to be a woman in this world. But I also don't let that stop me, and when I go and have meetings with people who might be partners for us and they can't look me in the eye because they're too busy looking at my chest while we're meeting, then that's just one more person that's not getting our money,
Oh, 100%. And I think people need to, just because they're collecting stuff in Web3, maybe they're not in the Web3 builder side, but if they're like, people got to remember that like this is still businesses and it's not just a community, right? And that it's important to treat everybody the same. And that's
That's
why I think
exactly
it's so
right.
important. Yeah, it's so important that like you can't just think that this is all fun and games. Like this is not all just like DeGods, Metatope, apocalyptic apes, like parties. That's not the point of this. Like, yeah, we want to show everyone a good time, and that also brings in more user acquisition and more eyeballs. But like, this is still like we're still out here doing this for a purpose, and that's not just to give you free drinks in an open bar all night. That's really not the purpose.
So I'll tell you, I'm raising three daughters, so it's important for me to have some respect, and this to change. And again, I'm not asking to change in a day because it's the same people that are in the real world. Just because we're on a Twitter space doesn't make them any different. But what I have noticed is a lot of people in here will go and they'll say, let's get a woman to sell out a project. I've seen that. I've heard these conversations. I think that's wrong. I think you find the best people for your project and don't try to have, specific ways to do that. And that's what needs to change. And I think once people talk about it and open that up, that's when you're going to start seeing changes. Because I think there's some incredible women in the space, like Crypto Megan, who I adore. I respect her. I heard her to speak in Vegas. Swan. There's some really, really sharp people that talk and blow me away. So to me, I don't really care if it's a woman or a man. I know people don't like to hear that. I just want smart people. That's the key.
Yeah, real people, and people are here to stay, not just get a quick buck and dip. That's the importance. And yeah, I think this is great. I know that like Crypto Empress, you first, like when I last talked to you, you were telling me that like you started off as like a Web2 like shoe store, and you decided to keep everything going on your Twitter and stuff, with chic shoes. Is this something like, do you see in the future? Like, tell me about like your next year as being like somebody part of projects that wants to onboard people. Is that something that you're going to figure out a way to optimize and bring people from like the shoe community to this, or what is your next year looking like?
Absolutely. So yeah, I do have a shoe store, chicShoes.com, and normally this is kind of like a year-round kind of collection. So this collection was dedicated, like the whole website, to my parents. They're hardworking people, and my ultimate goal is to pay their house off. So I'm finding ways of myself how to make that happen. So obviously for me, it's always been about hard work. My parents have taught me that the value of a dollar. So that was one part. I didn't tell you the other part. I am, in the education business. I tutor kids from K to 12. So when it comes to education, I see it very, very differently. And I take whatever I have put in my businesses into Web3. So education, for example, for crypto or NFTs, that's something that I'm really passionate about, where I could invite different people that know like a little bit of knowledge about different things. And we put spaces together. We talk about it. So for me, obviously, like tutoring kids has been a major factor for me, just because I do see a lot of kids being left behind because due to COVID. And for me, I want to do more. So this year and next year, my ultimate goal is to continue finding ways or partner up with different communities that can make this happen. I know that right now I am working with Mandocs Create. They are bringing a new marketplace to the space, and they will also have a storefront for me. So I will be one of the first ones to put chic shoes in their marketplace. So for me, I guess I'm like an entrepreneur. I'm still doing this full time, and I'm operating my businesses. And people say, how do you do it? The best answer is just doing it. Like, as long as I get sleep, if I sleep at night, I'm good, and I could power throughout the day, working constantly. But I think like when you have motivation and drive and hustle, you can make anything happen. And I always tell everybody, like, if you dream it, you can make that happen. And that's the drive and passion that I have. So next year, I'm just super pumped right now, because I'm just trying to connect with the great people, communities, to make this happen. So yeah, I'm just excited about what's coming. I believe in crypto. I think crypto is going to be something that's going to change the world, and people are going to start adapting to it pretty soon. So if I could onboard more business, like, I know a lot of people in this industry, like I know, a couple of people that have like they're in the food industry, or, they have their own products. I do want to help them get into Web3. So I just feel like Mandocs Create Marketplace will help me with that, to onboard more people. So yeah, that's what I see my future for this year and next year, man. I'm just hustling right now.
No, that's great. And I appreciate you dropping that knowledge on us. That was some alpha, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get to the hands over with Meta Rebels, is that Mr. David Taylor or Robert?
GM. This is actually Scarface. I got hired by David and Robert. Just seen Moonpie and Real Barkley and the Real Meta here and B, so I stopped by to just say hi and hang out with you guys. Mintus on the 19th of next month. Of course, Robert and David are doing big things in Web3 and Web2. So let's fucking grow.
Yeah, no worries, man. And no, you don't need the chill here. Definitely a huge fan of you guys. I'll drop some info on what's going on in my combos with David in person. I appreciate you jumping up here and hanging out. Welcome to Chill. I want to also say hi to Miranda here in a second. But real quick, Real Barkley's probably gonna have to take off in about 15. Just want to give her a heads up that she can head out whenever she needs to. But I had a question for Moonpie real quick. I asked you about what you're doing and stuff, and I kind of draw that same question over to you. Like, what do you see yourself in the future? Because you have a very strong presence in the space. You have a great voice, obviously liked by a lot of people. And you talked about how people are like, why don't you drop your own collection? If it's not a collection, I mean, what is your 1 year goal, if you don't mind me asking?
I just take things day by day. I would like to have a collection one day, but again, I'm not someone who's going to do something half-ass. And I see a lot of people in this space talk and that's something that I bring all of my lessons from, managing in Web 2 to don't speak about things unless it's set in stone. So I just keep it open, but, and I would have never expected that I would be in Web3 right now making money. I had a great career. So I don't know. I do love what I'm doing, which is building my own community. So even if I make a project later, at the moment, I'm taking my time to be a presence on Twitter and in all these communities and support all of these projects. And in return, I'm going to have a solid community be there to support me when I do decide what it is that I want to do.
Yeah, you hit it right in the dot. You're building your community first and people around you, and that people are going to support you.
Backwards, just someone builds an entire project, gets the art done, and then just drops it on Twitter and expects it to mint in a month. I want to build my connections first and relationships, and then I'll see where that takes me, because a lot of doors have been opened for me. The first Twitter space I ever did, I got hired by a launch pad. They were like, we need you right now. And so you just have to keep your options open and don't jinx yourself and talk too soon. And yeah,
just be, it sounds like you are grateful of everything that's happening so far, and just being grateful for everything that's going to happen to you in the future is a great way to go if you don't have a business plan set out for a year out. So I think that's a great way to structure, and you'll know when you're ready to do something of if you ever do want to put a collection together or be the face of something that'll probably come more natural to you, and it will probably be more successful than what's popping out all the time because of all that hard work and stuff that you've done just to get there. So I'm very bullish on anything that you probably do in the future. So definitely don't be shy about
Yeah, no,
anything.
I know that. And people tell me that all the time, but it's like I know what a commitment it is to start a project. Whereas like I feel like even people who have founded projects don't feel the responsibility of how big of a commitment that really is. And like I don't take that lightly. So I'm not going to mint a project unless, and I've had, this year has been super crazy for me. I take care of my mother. My dad died like 2 months ago. And so I can't give my all to Web3 right now. I mean, I do my best and by supporting projects and stuff, but to have, you know, a 10,000 piece collection sell out and then like be held responsible by all of those people, like I don't want to let anybody down. So just
No, that's understandable.
yeah.
Completely understandable. And thank you for sharing that information about your father. And I think I
I've
can speak
watched
from space and condolences there.
I've watched MoonPie take like real big interest in projects and really help founders and help communities and way above and beyond what she gets paid for. I don't even know what that is, but I'm just personal relationships. She gets to like people. She cares. So when and if she decides to do that, I think she'll destroy it and do a great job. So I think she's got enough knowledge to make a right decision. Hey, this is when it's ready. It's ready.
For sure. And she'll have a great support system around her of founders and builders as well too. Um, so real quick, we're going to run into Miss Miranda here in a second, followed by jumping over to Crypto Medic, and then I want to kind of dive in real quick with Meta Rebels. And then past that, I wanted to actually ask Naomi more about the plans of her project in this next year. Similar question. But Miss Miranda, thank you. Thanks for jumping up. I invited you up. It was a pleasure to meet you at Fiddy's party. You came out of nowhere and you're like, I'm the Phantasmal Sloth, and I'm like, yo, let's go. It's always good to meet like a Twitter space person that you see in like multiple spaces. You've jumped in TopeTalk multiple times, and I thank you for coming back. And how are you? Thanks for being here.
Hi. It's good to actually hear you again. So I remember seeing you and everything. I wish we got to talk more, but everyone was like here and there, like they were so busy at that party. But I hopped in because I saw Empress and Moonpie. I mean, Fiddy too, but that's another story. It's more Moonpie and Empress over here. So, but it's good to see you.
Yeah, no, I understand. Everyone was jumping around. The Fiddy's party had so many like, celebrities from our space that I had to run over to the bar across the street with Six and Profits and everybody to get a drink. There was no room at the bar. I wonder, you guys probably set a record for the amount of alcohol served at that party, Fiddy.
Yeah, we did okay.
Who's the cowboy? The cowboy, by the way. He was serving some interesting drinks, I have to say.
I have I think he was place, but he moved very slow. It took him a while.
He put my drink in a martini glass and it was just vodka and water.
He moved very slow. Yeah, but he was great. He was really nice.
He was.
We were supposed to do it on the rooftop, and then the rain made us move downstairs, so we had to kind of do with what we had.
No, and you know what, dude? That's the best thing about you is you know how to work on the fly, and you performed, and it didn't, you didn't have to cancel or anything like that. You gave people a space, and dude, that's met Wolf Financial there. Have a meeting with him tomorrow, actually, I think. Just it's great. Like that's where decisions have to be made, and you made them, and you gave everyone a safe place to be. So, real quick, let's jump over to Meta Rebels. I know they came up, and this is a cool project to me. Met David Taylor. He's one of the a big holder in our space. He's a part of almost every project. I feel like at this point, he just picked up some A Kid Called Beast earlier today. I think like 4 or 5 of them, and he has about like 700 degen tunes, maybe even more at this point. We have one of his gentlemen here that kind of came up, follows MoonPie in every space like I do. Yeah, so thanks for jumping up here, and I know you're talking about the mint. I look forward to definitely minting with you guys. If you haven't had a chance, if you want to tell them how they can get on your allow list real quick, I think that'd be perfect.
You're asking me, right?
Yeah.
All right, so basically just jump on my profile, and there's a Discord there. Just go in there and to Discord and say I sent you. and then we can go from there.
Perfect. Now I did that already. Jumped into Discord. I got my group in there. I'm excited for you guys, man. I'm always down to support somebody that has been in the space. You're the founders, and Robert Lael, that's the father of the founder of DGen Tunes. So it's really cool to see the commingling happening, and I think it's going to be a really good one for you guys. So thank you for jumping up here, man. Let's jump over to Naomi real quick. Naomi, my question to you is, with Shrapnel and everything, with Metatope and what we do, we're trying to bring that interoperability, right? So we're going to have the assets being able to not only be an IP brought to life through our technology that we built. By the way, we finished patents today, which I'm sure Jordan's, finally is able to breathe today. But it's going to be really cool. And I'm curious, like when it comes to integration with your FTS shooter, do you see like a Bored Ape running around, playing that game? Do you see like a full body Ute experience for assets? And is that something that you guys are interested in? And kind of what's the plan?
Well, that's a really good question. We have had debates around stuff like this from the very early days of, the ideation around this project. And, we definitely support like whatever it takes to get to that future place where interoperability is actually a functioning thing. We think that's pretty fucking rad and kind of one of the best use case scenarios for like NFT game items, minted items. But we also, we have an IP. Shrapnel is an IP. We have a story. We have a world. We have a look and a feel. We have a transmedia, package all laid out. We have last year we released 5 comic books in the universe of Shrapnel, and this summer we'll release 5 more. So, our head of creative, Colin, one of my fellow co-founders, we used to talk about this a lot. And he was like, you'll never see, Mario running around in Shrapnel because that's just not Shrapnel. So to answer your question, probably not. But, there's definitely what I love about the Web3 space is there's just definitely so many other cool ways to collaborate with other projects like that. So I'm not going to say absolutely not. You'll never see a Bored Ape running around in Shrapnel, but I'd be surprised if you did. But I wouldn't be surprised if we found some way for Bored Ape to be involved in the Shrapnel universe in some way, shape, or form, as an example, right? So that's like really interesting questions and stuff that we talk about a lot in the studio.
Cool. No, I appreciate that information. And real quick, I'm going to slide a few people off here. I accidentally kicked Enzo. Meta Rebels, if you don't mind chopping down, I don't want to boot you. Just going to make some room for some hands. And yeah, thank you for. Oh, Miranda, did you want to jump down too? Is that the thing?
Oh, I can jump down. Yeah, if you want more people up here, no problem. I got to do stuff.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I didn't mean to kick Enzo. Shelly, tell him I'm sorry. I'm pushing buttons. I'm on medication I just picked up, so I'm feeling nice right now. Yeah, give me 1 second, and then don't thumbs down me the period. I see you there, man. I'll get you here in a second. We're making room. Holy moly! Thanks for coming up, Jordan. Oh, I'm sure you wanted to chime in real quick. And real quick, Meta Rebels, I'll let you speak real quick, and then we'll go to Jordan.
Okay, so I actually have to leave, but can I just pin something on top? It's a giveaway. It's a DGen tune that we're giving away. So if I can do that, I'll just step down.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Do that. That's fine. I'm down with you guys. That's cool. We typically in this space, we're not a shilly type. It's a nice, comfortable space for everyone, and I like what you guys are doing. So I'm definitely down for that. Thank you for joining us, Meta Rebels, and let's go over to Jordan.
Just want to say hey guys and introduce myself, or hey ladies, really. My bad. I was in with accounting, which is always a really fun call. My team knows that always puts me in a really good mood. But I was listening here and there, and I can't wait to listen back to the recording because it's really, really awesome stuff I was hearing. I had a question because I get this question a lot, but I wanted to know from a woman's point of view. I get asked a lot how, when you're new to this space, it's very, very intimidating. I've heard for women, it's also very intimidating because it is a male-dominated space. Although we've been at shows with booths and we've been very pleasantly surprised at how strong of a female presence there actually is when you get and meet people face to face. My question for you all up here is, what do you say to a woman who wants to get into Web3, and can, and like, what would the first step be? What would you recommend? I imagine, I mean, from what I've heard, and it's really difficult, but you've all cracked that ceiling and have worked your way up. So I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, this is open for anybody who wants to take it.
I'll hop in. From my experience, honestly, and I think this kind of goes in general with life, is just find the tribe and let that kind of lead the way. Like, it might be other women in the space. If that's what you feel safe around, definitely like find other women that are going to support you, because what I've found is that the people in Web3, I think inherently we're a little bit more open-minded and a little bit more curious, right? But that's not to say that some people aren't. So it's finding the people who are going to support you and going to show love and send you flowers, metaphorically, and maybe in real life too when you need them. But it's finding those people and really not letting them go. I think that's kind of how it goes in life. But I do have to hop off in just a minute. And I was curious, Chris, do you mind if I put up something on the top for real gratitude so that everybody can get involved if they would like?
I guess we can do that. Yeah, of course we can do that. You kidding me?
You're the
You can
bomb.
say anything you want, Barkley. And
You're the
if I
bomb.
didn't say yes, Fitty would probably fly to Florida and beat my ass.
Right on. Well, right now, and just to kind of give everybody an idea of how Real Gratitude works, is whenever we do a real estate transaction, we do something to connect the community. So right now we are doing a clothing drive. We're collecting clothing, shoes, non-perishable food items, and hygiene products. So we have created an Amazon wish list. If you go up to the top and check out my pinned tweet, there's an Amazon wish list in there for non-perishable food items and hygiene products, and you can support the underprivileged community out in Phoenix. But yeah, that's a little bit of ways to get involved with Real Gratitude and what we're up to.
For sure. And thank you for sharing that, and look forward to seeing everything that happens here. I'm sure this is not the last time you'll be in our space. So we'll definitely would love for you to come back on the next thing that you do regarding like after this specific drive for real estate. And then, you know, we can always talk about the next one, and maybe if maybe something Metatope can get involved with would be one of those future things too for you guys. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and let's run over to our speaker Dot, aka at the period. What's going on?
I mean, I feel like women in Web3, it's just like it's one of these. Like, you gotta have that attitude. If you can't.
Yeah, see?
In Web3,
Fitty, this is why I
yeah,
snap
dead
at
ass,
you
like
guys
dead
so
ass.
much.
If you
Dead
can't
ass.
in Web3, you ain't gonna last. But like all these women, like Moon Pie, the Cry, all these women that speak, and they know how to. Like my little daughter, she knows how to. She 5, she knows how to snap. I was in there practicing before I even hopped in because I was trying to get my snap down. My daughter looked at me and she said, "Why are you snapping?" I said, "Honey, I'm just practicing. I'm about to do it in just a minute." But she knows that, like, that's what the Web3 women about. Yeah, she over here doing it right now. My daughter is 5. Yeah. I love y'all, by the way. Just wanted to share.
Thank you for being here. That was great. I thought you were going with the whole like. I just heard that song. It's like the, and I'm like, what is this song I'm listening to? It's about to like. I'm like, all right, turn that one off.
Oh, there's probably some in the background. She's watching cartoons and stuff. But like,
oh no, there's like some random
me.
song. But no, thanks for jumping up here. I'd like I like that you only follow smart people. You're not following me, so I appreciate that.
We'll change that. I said, but if you follow me, I said my followers are more than likely smart. So if you're following me and I followed you, it's extra even. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hilarious! So as we transition to getting to the end of this space, you know, Naomi, when you talked about real quick about how like, you know, maybe not Bored Apes will be involved, like in an asset walking around, you know, carrying rifles in a FPS shooter. that's actually a conversation I had with somebody in LA. It's like some people might not actually want like their asset in things. You know, maybe this is something that like that could be a negative to somebody's mind, right? So like I'm curious. Like we at Metatope, we built this in our interoperability, so like things that people can take their assets into multiple places, metaverses, like Zoom meetings and stuff like that, and essentially games as well. But you bring up a good point that like maybe that's not for everybody, right? And maybe some people prefer to keep those things separate. And you know, it gave me a little bit more like in my mind of how that makes a lot of sense. That like, you know, you guys have something that you're creating, and it might actually be more of a headache to bring in like an asset outside of what you guys are doing. So I appreciate you kind of giving me an idea and you know on how you felt about that.
Yeah, for sure. And like the thing is, right, like we are huge supporters of creators of all kinds here. I mean, we all come, most of us in the studio have some kind of creative background or creative drive or creative outlet. Like we really support, you know, absolute, you know, creative energy. And that's why a part of our, like a huge part of our project and our ecosystem and our product offering is going to be our creator tools. So I don't know how many of you guys on the space are like familiar with Shrapnel and what we're doing, but you know, we're building a first person shooter. It's an extraction, you know, like looter shooter, kind of like Escape from Tarkov, but not so brutal. And but around that, we're building these creator tools so that you can go in and, you know, you can make your own decals and your own skins for your character, for your weapon, for your gear and your equipment. And we're also going to be creating a map creating tool so that you can create your own level and you can publish your own level within our ecosystem and people can play our game on the level that you made. And you can also eventually we'll be able to create like pieces of those levels, assets that will go in those levels. So like, you know, maybe you are, you know, the guy that makes the coolest exploding barrel, as my creative director likes to talk about, the exploding barrel guy. Maybe you make the best exploding barrel and everybody that wants an exploding barrel in their map uses your exploding barrel. Well, we also have a creator payout pool. So we'll be giving people, you know, Shrap tokens based on how many people play on their map. And then those attributions will go to all the other artists who created the pieces that are in the map. So if you're exploding barrel guy and everybody's using your exploding barrel, every time there's a creator payout, like you're getting a little piece of it from every map that your barrel sits in, right? And that's what makes the blockchain so awesome. And, you know, smart contracts so great for the gaming space is, you know, that whole attribution model that we can apply so that everybody is constantly being, you know, compensated for the creative energy that they put into the space. I think Shrapnel is really embracing that spirit of Web3 and blockchain. And I'm super excited to see what comes out of that.
Fantastic. No, that's really cool. I mean, it everyone kind of uses like the use case of like an asset, like an IP as like the number one use case, but there is many more use cases, like you said, down to even an exploding barrel. And to touch on your point about, you know, Tarkov, that was probably the first Steam game that I immediately refunded after my like third death. I was like, oh hell no, this is way too difficult for me. And I never looked back. In fact, when I see it on a stream, like I can maybe watch like Summit 1G on Twitch. Otherwise I get like anxiety. I'm like, no, this is just like, unless you know exactly what's going on, there's such a learning curve, and I think people forget about that. And I think Web3 enabled games will provide a better experience, and people will be invested and really want to learn how to do like different things like that. And yeah, the positioning of yourself in a game through different type of whether it's an IP or an exploding barrel, like you said. So, Crypto Empress, I see your hands up. We'll get to you real quick here. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to go back to Jordan's question about what did he recommend for women, right? So back in the day, I started like in 2017 in crypto, and there was no like embracements for women to just kind of learn. So probably like it's already been over a year. We created this brand called the Boss Girls with Carolyn. She's one of the devs for Mandox. And we decided that we wanted to help more women to just kind of help them kind of navigate crypto in general, like basic stuff. So we do have a Telegram. I do encourage a lot of women, if you guys want to get knowledge, or it's kind of like a social network where all different ladies from different communities that, if they want to do a space, we could kind of do a space together. It's all about community and unity to just work together to bring more awareness of the education side. So I definitely, somebody was mentioning earlier, definitely stick to your tribes or someone that you really trust. But most wanted just to say, like, the most important thing is building that trust, making sure that you are working out there and making sure that you are spending that time, because in order for us to improve, like in crypto, we have to definitely up our education when it comes to just learning the basics, right? We see a lot of people talking about YouTube and like, yeah, we should do this, but nobody does the work, right? So definitely, we are definitely getting out there trying to either on Telegrams or one-on-one just to kind of get them through, just setting up their wallet, or hey, make sure like don't press in any links, make sure you buy your ledger from the main ledger company, don't go to Amazon, just little basic things that women that are coming in that might not know nothing, that could help save them what we already went through. Like, I already got rugged. I mean, you name it. I've been through all the hell and back. And I have lost a lot of money too as well. But for us, definitely check out the Boss Girls. We do have strong women there, and some of them are here, and they're always talking about mental health spaces. We are talking about like basic domains. Like tomorrow we're going to be doing another space, and I did post it up here. We're going to do about domains, compounds, NFT, a new marketplace that's coming, and the Pink Lady. So if you guys want to join us tomorrow, it's always fun. It's just come by with the Empress, and anybody that has knowledge, like, we encourage you to come up on stage and just, hey, give us some of your experience, and we'll have, like what we can learn together. Because at the end of the day, we're here to learn about our mistakes in crypto and making sure that this doesn't happen to newcomers, because those newcomers are never coming back if they get rugged. So building that environment, and I know a lot of people here are very strong, when it comes to just kind of talking about projects, but we definitely have to kind of give more of that 101 education, and hopefully I could connect with more of you guys and build more spaces where I would love to host and, just talk about basic knowledge. So just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry, I'm feeling like you, Chris, like I'm dying. I already had 5 spaces today, so my brain is like blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I love you all. I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, thank you. And like, I don't know how Moon Pie does it. I mean, she's got a thick skull for sure when it comes to doing spaces.
For sure. I give her props, man. I see her everywhere, and literally after 2 spaces, my brain is like not even, like, I'm thinking something and I'm moving differently. So I give power to those people that spend hours and hours. I mean, it's like going to the gym, you're like prepping, you're already like knowing what to do, right? So I give you props, Queen. I don't know how you do it, but I am dying today. Today I had probably have 2 more to go before I end the day, but holy moly, man, I am dying. But power to you, girl.
Thank you. I get tired too. I for sure get tired and worn out, but at the same time, I'm not pretending to. I think it's like I stay authentic and I make sure I'm having fun while I do it. And I think that's the key. Like, I'm not keeping it too serious. I'm being my silly self, and I get to enjoy myself. And I think when people are not being authentic to themselves and, have like a mask on, or are trying to portray something else, that's a different story. That would be very, very exhausting. I wouldn't be able to do that. But I feel very blessed to be able to do what I do. I get to hang out at home with my dogs barking and talk to people and laugh and, tease Chris and Fiddy, and it's a good time.
Yeah, no, she definitely knows how to tease. I mean, that's how you know she's authentic, because she's too good at it. And you don't want to be on that other side, the receiving end of it. Sometimes it's like, oh boy, we'll go ahead and just mute the mic and pretend I'm not here no more, shit like that. But no, thanks everyone. I think between the few of us and between these the sneezelitis or whatever people gave us from these expos, as well as Taylor Swift. I mean, Fiddy's over here Taylor Swifted out of his mind. I think that's what DJ Moons played earlier was a T Swift song. I don't know. I don't listen to that. I only listen to the sound of Blur, Blur.io. But you're right. It is. It can get pretty exhausting. But you know what? I appreciate every single one of you here that takes the time to provide a safe space and provide a comfortable way for people to communicate and either whether it's just BSing when maybe it's keeping them off something on their mind. In the real world, or they're here to learn information. Everyone in here is doing their part, and that's really, I think, on the long run, we won't forget each other. And once the next cycle comes through, and we are then considered like the OGs, it'll be really fun. I mean, we're making so many friendships, and really setting ourselves to be those early adopters, and in this new realm of digital world. I can't say that word. He's got that trademarked. The digital and real world stuff together. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good for all of us. So let's wind it down here. I am ready to get some fresh air before this medicine puts me on my back. And yeah, I want to just give everyone last chance to say some shout outs. I know we got some pin stuff at the top here. If you want to scroll back to the first one, make sure you vote for us. I'll be looking for Moon Pie's vote. Shout out to Maddie in the audience. Awesome individual. Him and his wife are amazing people. Met them in NFTLA. And if anyone here is going to NFT NYC, please touch base with myself. DJ Moons, man, you wanna take us out with I'm not gonna say T Swift. Girls are players too. I don't care. Play something.
Dude, why are you fighting Taylor Swift?
All right, we're done with that. Everyone have a good night. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming, and love you all. God bless. Go Web3.
Yeah, cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask. Yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me healthy CT phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah. And use it inside your live stream. And on your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Metatope.